your political theater to Texas.
This is not about political theater.
And it was more political theater than anything.
It's nothing more than pure political theater.
It's pure political theater.
Y'all, what up? What up, people? How are you? How are you? I'm sorry, I'm just finishing this last piece of chicken because listen, I got a new recipe for Patreon, but I have to test it out first. Make sure it's good. It's good. So, okay. Also, just need to remind you all that I am a nigger. I'll put it over there. Y'all, listen. Got a whole lot of stuff to cover today. Just want to check in with everybody, see how everybody's doing. Hey, everybody in the chat. Good to see you. Where are y'all at? Family is here. Mo, I see you. Katie, I see you. Charlie, Tiffany. What up, Chantel? All of my regular supporters. Love you all so very much. And we're all here together. And so there's a lot that we have to cover today. I'm going to do some quick hits. I want to do a deep dive on a sensitive topic. I will issue a trigger warning before I start because I will be talking about suicidal ideation. So that's going to be our deep dive for today. We're going to be talking about that. But before we got to that, we got a lot of political stuff to get through. I am so happy that I'm getting more people subscribing. As I tell people all the time, the easiest, quickest way, best way, no cost to you at all to support what I'm doing over here is to hit that subscribe button, because the more subscribers I get, the closer I get to YouTube allowing me to be monetized. Because you know I cuss a lot, and that's already a strike against me. We have a guest today. I'm gonna bring him to the stage. How are you, Dr. Hall? Everybody, Dr. Hall is here. Everybody. Now, just remember, if at any point he gets on your nerves,
we're one in the chat if I'm allowed to say.
Sexist. Oh, look, he's already taken over. Like, gotta take him out. No, sorry, I was not finished talking. Like, what is happening here? You gotta put he's telling people to put a 1, and I said you put a 2 if we're tired of him, and he already getting to us.
Drop a 1.
He needs a 1.
Hi, Katie.
1 in the chat if he gets to stay, 2 if I gotta kick him out, because just talking out of turn.
1.5.
All right, Doc, we got a lot of stuff to get to. How are you today, though, Doc? Because you know the world is actually falling apart.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty well. Recovering from an illness last week, and so it's one of the first days that I feel like myself. I just got to get my sleep back under control. So that's always good to feel good, to be able to breathe through both of the nostrils.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is. It is to not have that cough in the back of your throat just waiting to come out.
Yeah. I see you got a 1. I guess I see you got a 1.5.
I got a couple of 1.5s in the chat.
Yeah.
And I want to just,
if I could,
for a second, just so glad we could all convene. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate every time I get to come out here. And I know these are tough and perilous times. So, you know, for all of you out there who kind of need community to help get through it, I'm glad we could do this together.
What? Nobody asked you for none of that. We didn't even get to that part of the show yet.
Right.
Well, Dr. Hall's not going to be here the whole time.
Have a mindful minute.
He's he said he would hop on for a little bit. I appreciate him, but you know I can hold it down. All right. So let's get it started. I don't want us to forget that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk.
The call was coming from inside the house.
He did. Tyler Robinson. Oh, geez. Forgot the banner. Hold on. Allegedly.
These are still only accusations.
Allegedly, because he has not confessed to anything. Y'all noticed they had to get rid of the terrorism charges for Luigi Mangione.
Yep.
And then what else did they get rid of? He's still charged for killing the dude, but they took off the terrorism charges because they was messing up with, I have said this, if you follow me on other places, you all know how I've said they're doing fascism wrong. They are hitting entirely too hard and too heavy. They're not giving people enough time to eat. You got to ease into fascism. You got to do it so people don't realize that fascism is happening Dr. Hall.
Mhm.
Am I lying? Am I making this up, Dr.
No,
Hall? Like,
no,
what
no,
are we
no. You
doing?
go too far, too fast, and people. So it's good to know that there is still such a thing as judicial overreach in this country.
Oh,
That legislatively we do step back and assess and try to choose according to what we can still charge people with. So hey, that's saying something.
all right. So he was in court today, virtually. They formally charged him. All right. This we're talking about Tyler Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
allegedly popped one to the throat of
One
one
shot.
Charlie Kirk. Allegedly, we don't know that this is true. We don't
Allegedly.
know. I wasn't there, so
Nope.
So they said,
Didn't watch it
so he's been formally charged with aggravated murder,
live.
2 counts of obstruction of justice, and felony
Yes.
discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury.
Yes.
He killed him. That's I guess one to the neck
Right.
is
Someone
actually
was bodily injured. Yes.
That is serious energy. They said 2 counts of witness tampering.
Yes,
and
for
a
telling his
commission of a
deleting his own text messages and for telling his partner to delete text messages.
Oh, yes. And then a commission of violent offense in the presence of a child.
Yes. Any kids who might have been watching.
I know there had to be some more charges they could have tacked on there. Why not?
I feel like they tried. I feel like they got what they got.
You popped him in the neck in front of a kid. It's also abusive to do it in front of a dog. At least a dog owned by a white person. Because white people's dogs get more rights than black human beings. So
yeah,
you gotta protect the children, as Katie said.
Protect the children. Somebody think of the children.
Listen, the children that he was raising to be like him.
No.
Are children innocent all the time? That's an existential question. We're not going to answer it here because you're not going to get me kicked out. You're not going to have me getting shot, Dr. Hall. Tread lightly.
Children
tread lightly.
Also the victim of gun violence on the very same day that Charlie Kirk was the victim of gun violence. And so it's a matter of which gun violence are we prioritizing? Which children are we prioritizing? America has always had a problem with who are the real children.
Absolutely. They're saying violent offense committed in the presence of a child, aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the board of pardons and parole shall consider as an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent criminal offense in the presence of a child.
And they're going death penalty. They're trying.
Yeah, they're going straight up death penalty. And then Utah hasn't executed anybody in what, like 50 years? Something like that. It's been a lot. It's been a long time. Somebody tell me, was it 40 years, 30? It's been a while for Utah. Because they're against it. People are generally against the death penalty. When the Mormons, when they pretend to be Christian, they got to kind of go with that. But
Christian adjacent. Are they Christian adjacent?
Why are the Mormons catching strays? Oh, I don't know, because Joseph Smith was a freaking drunk.
They got their own book. Jesus came to America. I don't know if you heard.
Wasn't it like some golden rocks?
He showed up with some tablets.
Some tablets and an opioid addiction. All right. So basically they're trying to throw the book at him. Okay.
They are.
They're seeking the death penalty. And then what happened? They exposed some texts. And chat, I'm gonna show you these texts because why are we even here? Hold on. Let's see. I just want everybody to understand that we don't believe anything about these texts.
No,
correct?
They don't sound like authentic 20-year-olds talking
in the
to each
chat.
other.
We all are smart enough to know that these are not real,
No,
right?
That's not 20-year-olds talk to each other.
Oh well, let's share it with the team because you know what, there may be some people in the chat who have not seen this.
Get a manifesto.
You know what? I wish she had a manifesto.
Somebody said.
All right, chat.
I missed the old
chat. You all see you see these, okay? You see them. They're saying the police interviewed Robinson's roommate. A biological male. I don't even like that. I don't even, because we don't, first of all, I want everybody to stop believing the police. We don't, oh, Maxine, you ain't seen the text, I got you. We don't trust police. And I just feel like everybody who is in this space understands that we don't trust the police. We never take their word for anything. Even when they are doing the right thing, they add extra sauce to things because that's what cops do. All right. So here go the text. They're saying that they interviewed Robinson's roommate, right? And because this is an anti-trans administration, they're trying to suggest that the roommate is transgender, a trans woman. And so they're referring to the roommate as a biological male who was involved in a romantic relationship with Robinson. I just want everybody to point out that initially the reports were that he lived with his parents, but now they're saying that he lives in an apartment that is not far from his parents. Okay, so they've been botching this entire thing. That's why we cannot trust them. Nothing that they say is actually real. Okay, so they're saying that on September 10th, 2025, I just want everybody to know there's no timestamp, right? Y'all trust me to analyze this stuff for y'all, right? There's no timestamp on this. I don't know about y'all. I read a lot of these legal briefings and things like this, police reports. They would put September 10th, 2025 at 13:43 p.m. A roommate received, or 13:25, they'll put, because they don't have to put PM when it's in military time, whatever they want to do. The roommate received a text message from Robinson that said, "Drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard." Shut the up.
I mean, it's great if you just spelled it all out for you. They just spelled it all out in a text message.
Dr. Hall.
Open and shut case.
Dr. Hall, you have children, right?
Yeah.
When you text your child, how old are your children? Do you mind sharing with the audience how old
your
children are?
I have a 15-year-old, I have a 13-year-old, and a 10-year-old. Okay,
so your 15-year-old is Gen Z.
Ish.
Yeah, Gen Z-ish, right? It's my 18-year-old is Gen Z.
Yeah.
A 22-year-old would also be Gen Z, right?
Sure.
When you text with your 15-year-old, who I assume is probably advanced beyond his years because you're his dad, does he text like this? No? Okay.
He does not text in full sentences.
Wow. What's the boy's name?
Ra. I call him Ra.
Why does Ra have to catch a stray?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Put a 2 in the chat if you're upset with him for throwing his own kid under the bus.
I didn't throw him under the bus.
Anyway, you know that Gen Z don't text like this.
They don't text in full sentences. No.
My son does because he's a 67-year-old British man inside and has been texting, calling me mother dear since he was 7. But other people, they don't text like this. So I just want you all to know the report should also include timestamps. There are no timestamps on this. Whoever, first of all, this is a Microsoft Word document. And so, somebody
Times New Roman. Times New Roman.
Somebody went. Right. Times, New York Times, New Roman, 12-point, single space.
Single space
document. Somebody went on ChatGPT and said, write a text conversation between a 20-year-old who shot someone in the neck and their transgender girlfriend person,
biological male,
and make sure that it shows them leading up to confessing to a crime.
Right, via text message, and then saying delete the text.
Via text message, and make sure that you say the full confession from this person, all details included.
Yeah.
It should also include an exchange between them in which the roommate asks why they did it at least 4 times.
Yes.
Dr. How they think we're stupid.
I mean, or we just don't know anything about ChatGPT in the current world.
Dr. How they think we're stupid. But let's keep going because some people haven't seen the text.
A 20-year-old college dropout texts in full sentences.
Wow. Why you had to go with the college dropouts? We got college dropouts in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if I get rid of him because he's shitting on college dropouts. He's shitting on college dropouts.
I'm just saying.
No, that's elitist.
is it?
Dr. Hall.
I'm not saying he wouldn't text in full sentences.
Dr. Hall.
That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, the text message from Robinson, which said, "Drop what you're doing, look under my keyboard." Why isn't that also formatted like the other ones? That's okay, we're gonna let it go. The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it." Police found a photograph of this note.
A full note. Just wrote out a note. That's it.
A photograph of a note.
We haven't seen the note.
Yes, Katie, he was in trade school. This is what I'm saying, studying to become an electrician.
Yes, he writes very well.
He electrically shot Charlie Kirk in the neck, allegedly. That's okay.
He writes very well for an electrician. That's all I'm saying.
So, no, he's fine. The ACT scores, according to his mom, who posted his entire life online. Part of why I don't post everything about my kid, because, wow, the last thing I need is something happening and y'all going through all my social media and you're indicting my child before he gets a fair opportunity to show up in court.
Yeah.
So after reading the note, the roommate responded, "What?" with all these question marks. You're joking, right?
Yeah.
Right? Robinson allegedly says, "I am still okay, my love, but I am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet." That's a hoe.
Dearest Anastasia, the war has gone for 4 long months, and I have missed you as I toil behind the front lines. And I hope that these small words of comfort do warm you by the hearth of the fire as you miss me.
Shouldn't be long. But you're not far off, because he said, "Shouldn't be long till I could come home. I gotta grab my rifle still." To be honest, I had hoped you'd keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you.
Yes, it was my hope that we would be together again in Valhalla.
Please tell me that they don't think we're this stupid.
I mean, here's what I've learned about this administration. They operate on the just say it over and over again, and it doesn't matter if it's been disproven later. Just say it over and over again now, and it's enough to keep moving forward.
Doc. He says, "They said you weren't the one who did it, right?" "I am. I'm sorry."
Mm-hmm.
"I thought they caught the person." "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering." Why are they doing this to us?
Because all they need is just say the thing, and people believe it and move on.
Why are they playing in our faces, Maxine? I don't understand, Katie. I must toil away in the chain gang.
Look to the west, where I did
cast your gaze upon the fields in which my rifle lay.
Look to the west and think of me as the setting sun.
Not making this up. You guys know this is coming directly from them. I would not troll you all this hard. I'm not that committed to a bit. No. I'm funny, but I'm never that committed to a bit. Not when we're talking about some real shit, because they may pop me in the neck. So I'm trying to just.
Yeah. No, this is really what they presented as the text message.
They said
2:20 something.
Why, roommate? Why? Robin says, "Why did I do it?" Roommate, "Yeah." Robinson, "I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it." Are you? They want us to believe.
You might have remembered that by candlelight, I was etching bullets. Not a real university.
I'm wishing I'd circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle, not my car.
Vehicle.
Why are they calling it a vehicle?
That's what
Gen Zer calls it a fucking vehicle.
My vehicle, yeah.
I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. Are we in fucking Little House on the Prairie?
What would the old man say?
What would Pa do?
What would Pa do? He'd be so mad.
They threw the chat GPT threw in the IDEK, or somebody came.
Yeah.
Because they were like, this sounds a little too, this
We
sounds like a 30-year-old. We got to make him sound like he's 21.
Uh-huh.
He said IDEK if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find the prints. How the fuck will I explain losing it to my old man? He cares more about the fucking gun and explaining it to his old man than the fact that he just shot somebody in the neck and popped it and fucking killed Charlie Kirk. Like, I'm sorry, a Groiper is going to celebrate that shit. It's not to know, oh, dear.
Success.
Not Papa's musket.
No.
Oh. Thank you. No, listen. My son sometimes will be elaborate because we both we use talk to text and whatever. But when my son is just texting regular, I learned a new language. Okay. Right. But we also grew up in the dawning of the internet chat. So we knew that ASL was age, sex, location, not as hell as these idiots. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say idiots.
No, don't do that.
These dumb
the whole generation of the bus now.
We know what LOL is. We created Laugh Out Loud. We don't see Rolf Lamayo anymore, but we used to Rolf Lamayo. We used to
Rolf Lamayo out there.
We used to Rolf Lamayo. So
ASL, man, take it back to when the chats would just explode with ASL, like somebody say
ASL, right? Okay, so hold on. Oh, so the only thing left was the rifle wrapped in a towel, period, and 3 ellipses. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking
you might have remembered that by candlelight I was engraving bullets well into the eve.
The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I notices bulge uwu on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm gonna have to leave it. It really fucking sucks.
That's the part that sucks.
I'm sorry. So you're telling me that your roommate / transgender lover was at some point watching you engrave bullets and didn't say anything? Because now the way they're portraying this roommate is like snitch of all snitches.
They're complicit. Yeah.
They're saying they are cooperating with us entirely. They're fine, blah blah blah. First of all, I think, and then this is what I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But from the trans people I know, they would insist upon not being referred to as a biological male in the media.
Yeah.
If I'm going to cooperate, you can at least address me properly.
Yeah.
Right. So that's that. But judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. IDK, I think that was a 2K scope. What are these?
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's an open and shut case, Johnson.
But I'm sorry. I got to make this bigger, Dr. Hall, because I want people to see the semicolon dash semicolon in an attempt to make an emoji. What Gen Zer is not just going to use the emojis on the phone?
Oh, that's once again old school emojis.
These are old school emojis.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody 42, 43 years old wrote this.
Right. Or ChatGPT that was based on the typing is a 42.
Then
the guy who notices bulges on the bullets is not going to write like this, right? Like,
no, but they explained it. The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. So yes, let's find a way to.
A person who speaks fluent meme also texts like this.
Exactly, but also would admit to just doing a meme so that they throw people off. They're trying to craft this narrative that this guy was left wing, that he was radicalized by the left.
And very
I'm sorry.
Very well spoken to be the radical left.
And so this exchange is supposed to prove all the confessions, all the details, everything.
No questions.
And for all this and all these messages where the roommate just suddenly stops responding. No. They're extracting things. Delete this exchange. Somebody who spends their whole time online knows that that doesn't matter. It doesn't work. They know that if anything happens, they can just pull the stuff. So that's stupid.
Somebody who would be deep in any of those chats would know. Texting via these, yeah, no, it's not going away.
Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. No, he didn't say no shit like that.
I mean,
he didn't say no shit like that. He did it. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You're all I worry about, love. I'm more worried about you. Okay. If they have that kind of relationship, Dr. Hall, why is the love snitching? Like easily talking, easily like cooperating. Oh my God. They're like, this roommate had nothing to do with it. They were so surprised to learn of this. They would never believe any.
I feel like the thing that was off to me is that, okay, you know, and maybe this is just me being a bad profiler, but like someone who would plan out a thing like this would just sort of be like, okay, and I'm going to turn myself in tomorrow. And there's nothing about the exchange that makes it seem there's any sort of internal conflict about turning himself in, about being caught, about like, it just reads as if this is a really great confessional text message that says there's no questions to be further asked about whether or not this person is guilty. Right. But like, it also doesn't show like an actual human person who might have made a series of choices that led to, like, it just seems like, you know,
woke up one day and decided I'm going to do this, and I don't have any kind of real plan, and everything got foiled. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
they really want us to believe this, and that's what's wild to me. But let's check out another perspective. Why don't we? Because it's going to segue into the next thing that I want to share with you all. Okay.
Certain exchanges, so that my dad is super MAGA just comes out of nowhere because they picked it from a totally different part of the conversation.
Yeah, these messages are clearly doctored, is what I would say. They're doctored. Now, they could decide why they're doing that. And Tyler's being, forthcoming or protecting him in some capacity. I find that to be unacceptable. Okay? I want every single text message. I want timestamps. It's conspicuous that you are not telling us when this was sent, because it sounds like it's when the campus is on lockdown. He's got to go back and got to clean up. And then all of a sudden we're in the next day when his dad is getting clued in after the picture's been released. They're not telling us that. Okay.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking
what
about
the hell?
it. Meet
these watching
All right, we're going to skip that one.
I have a right
Here we go.
to be a little bit uncomfortable about that, because I'm a lot of bit uncomfortable about that. We need full answers. Further to that point, I have found this strange from the beginning that for whatever reason, we're not hearing too much about this Lance guy other than like he's been extremely cooperative. He's handed over his messages. I'm not implying that Lance was involved. I am implying that it's weird that we're not hearing more about him, right?
Okay, so just so everybody is clear, we know that Candace is a transphobe. Okay. So again, we don't actually know if this person is transgender. We know that they started talking about trans people because the TRN on the bullet, they started saying that it was radical trans ideology because they're absolutely completely stupid. So we don't know that narrative began there, but we actually have no like idea that this person is, first of all, if they even exist. Second of all, whether or not they're trans. We have not seen this person on video or anything. We haven't heard any recordings from this person. All we have is the police saying those things. Okay, so just keep listening, y'all.
Right? You're telling me he lived with the guy. You're telling me us now that he's been texting with the guy about his plans. They're in love. Is nobody interested in learning more about this character? Okay, so Tyler's people are saying Tyler's a good kid. People around Tyler, classmates, are telling me he's a good kid. So I go into our tips box, and it turns out that actually Lance Twiggs' family has tried to reach out to me over the weekend. Obviously, I was in a very aggrieved state, and I was not prepared to even accept that Charlie Kirk was not on this earth, okay? And I realized that they're saying to me, like, we want to speak with you, and there's more than one family member that has reached out.
Okay.
Because we trust you.
Now, she could be lying, because Candace is a liar. But what she is suggesting is that this roommate's family has reached out to her.
And we don't trust the media. Good. Good by me. They are, it sounds to me, a very good family. They're absolutely horrified by what has happened. And they are similarly perplexed by there not being more out there about the person he was living with, especially because what they told me, and I can tell you this exclusively, is that the house that Tyler Robinson was living in with Lance is owned by them.
Oh! 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 Oh. Well. Well. I'm just saying.
It's a head scratcher.
So I brought up Candace because there was a conversation that was a discourse that was happening on social media, and I kind of sparked it, as I often do, about this whole idea of, oh, you know, protecting Black women, and I'm not protecting, and you know, Candace Owens. And I actually want to read what I said, because, and here's why this is important, folks. I'm just going to remind you all that I am rather meticulous with what I type and the things that I say. I actually put some thought into these things. Now, sometimes I just have these kind of air thoughts, but when I'm pulling together something serious, Dr. Hall, I tend to give it some thought, right? Because I know my words carry.
Yes.
Okay. So let's get back to what I said. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, first of all, let's listen to my video from yesterday, because this is also smart. I'm so smart. I am so smart. But I just think that this kind of goes along with what Candace was saying. Hold on.
Hitting too heavy with their sledgehammers when they should be trying to. Okay, let's go back. I talked on Threads about how these people are doing fascism wrong. They are hitting too heavy with their sledgehammers when they should be trying to be smoother with this. They should be going slower. They should be easing into it. That's how you get more people on board. They're hitting over the head with it, and that's why it's not working. This whole thing with this dude that got shot, like every day now, they are making it clearer and clearer that it is, according to my suspicion, allegedly an inside job. They took this guy out to start this war off. They're talking about 18,000 applications for new chapters, Turning Point, donations. His wife raised over like $5 million already, or almost $5 million. The way she was talking in her speech, when she should have been just focused on her husband, she's talking about the movement continuing and all this stuff like that. Stay woke, yeah.
I'm just saying we got to think about some things. What were you going to say?
No, nothing. I was listening.
Oh.
I agree with your sentiment.
What is your contribution to any of this?
I'm sorry. My contribution.
Why are you here?
I agree that they are trying to force fascism down the throats of the American people. As I've said before, the fact that they're just kind of repeating the messaging over and over again, it works for their population.
Okay, here we go. I think I may have found it.
Deifying Tiffany Johnson. They are definitely deifying CK.
No, they are. Why are they doing that?
They're using him as a prop. I mean, it becomes.
I talked about the messianic element, but like, what the hell?
Yeah, it becomes this convenient political messaging, like the fact that so many people have attached to it this grave importance means that you can use it as a cudgel to beat your enemies with. And so from the very moment that it happened, it became, we need to attack the liberal left for what they're doing to this country. And this justifies silencing, this justifies canceling, this justifies more force and more oppression, because they're the radical insurgents, terrorists who are destroying the country. And so rather than doing actual governing and solving people's actual problems, you can prop this person who has passed away up as an object for everyone to stare at, so that they don't think about how bad things actually are.
I wasn't listening to anything you said, but put a one in the chat if it made sense. All right, y'all. So I said, when another of Nick's boys takes out Candace, y'all gonna be scrubbing your socials like Laura did, because there were a lot of jokes about Candace Owens and her getting taken out by white people. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna have a little bit of a rant here. I don't give what y'all think. Going on social media and wishing for a black woman to be harmed by white people is absolutely disgusting. And that is mongrel behavior, right? And so somebody said, you know, they're not paying attention. And I was like, no, they truly aren't. I said, truly not. They think this is funny. I said, Candace's life is seriously in danger. Now I want you to hear the words as I'm saying. I'm not adding anything. I'm not taking any away. I'm going to start over. Truly not. They think this is funny. Candace's life is seriously in danger. She and I ain't never been friends, but she's exposing a lot on the right. Shit we need to pay attention to. They won't take her out for her conservative rhetoric, which has long been vile, though I still believe a very long con. They'll take her out for being a black woman exposing their hypocrisy, and that should be what has us worried about her. Folks haven't caught up yet, but I'm monitoring this because I called it. And if that happens, folks are going to be scrubbing their socials for mocking Candace's response in this moment. I said on my live, I truly believe they were close friends in a long grift together. That's neither here nor there, though. Her friend was murdered, her mask is off, and she is dropping dime on the people she thinks are really behind it. And they're the same people we all hate. Now, people got up in arms about this.
Well,
first, because people
felt like you were saying the other team should be thought about in a thoughtful way, and people don't want to. If I'm othering them, why would I want to acknowledge their humanity? I need to other them.
Dr. Hall, understand if this was a black man, they would not be responding the way they are.
Yeah, well.
And the misogynoir is clocked, even coming from our own people. It is internalized because all we do is protect and exalt and uplift even the worst black men possible. We find excuses to hold them up in high regard. Okay, people are still stepping in the name of love. Okay, people are still helping Chris Brown sell out concerts. Okay, we will make an excuse for a man, and like it's our birthright. Okay, so I know that for sure. But the issue that is people start saying like all these memes about how they're reluctantly protecting Candace Owens. I didn't actually say anything about protecting Candace Owens. I said we should be worried about her. Again,
reading what they think you're saying versus what you're actually saying.
Dr. Hall, I'm smarter than. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Trying not to be that person.
Trying not to?
But who the fuck are y'all talking to me like this?
I mean,
or talking about me like this? I have more intelligence in this fucking pinky nail than these people do. So what the hell are they talking about? But anyway, let's get back on track because the truth of the matter is that people were spending a lot of time like going over this. I'm not protecting nothing. I didn't ask you to protect nobody because you ain't protecting nobody else any goddamn way. Your whole life is all about yourself. So ain't nobody asking you to protect nobody. I said that we need to be worried because if they can take out a black woman for calling them on their shit, what you think they're gonna do about somebody like me who calls them on their shit every single time I go live? Yeah, y'all didn't get that far, did you? You didn't quite think that shit through the same way y'all didn't think through that whole, well, Memphis got the most crime and he ain't sending nobody to Memphis and now he's sending people to Memphis. Y'all didn't think this shit through.
Well, it's the internet. I just needed to have an opinion fast, not thoughtfully. Thoughtfully means I slow down and I'm not ahead of the curve. I got to be the cool one who posts first.
Katie, our resident queen of spades, quoting.
Hey, Katie.
Everybody shout out to Katie. She's pregnant.
Shout out, Katie.
Katie and the baby. Shout out the baby. We love the kids. We love the kids over here. But here's what so what I get really frustrated with is that people read to react, they read to respond, but they don't respond thoughtfully.
Yes.
And so if people actually read my replies, you'll see like how regularly I will ask somebody, what did you mean by this? Can you clarify this for me? I want to make sure I understand what you're asking or what you're saying before I respond. I did that today. That's what you should do. But people don't have time.
Not on the internet.
People don't have time for that kind of thing, and we're losing that. And that is why we are rapidly descending into our final days. It ain't about no damn Jesus or rapture or any of that shit. You niggas don't read. You don't read for comprehension. You don't read for purpose.
You don't actually engage in discourse.
You don't engage in discourse. Forget nuance. Who gives a damn about that?
Time for nuance. I've only got 130 characters. No
right.
time.
Right. So people, like, one of my friends hit me up and started the conversation with you wilding for, you know, your Candace. I had to stop. Like, first of all, don't ever fucking talk to me like that. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't know who you think I am.
Oop.
Do not ever tell me that I'm wilding for my opinion. And I had to let them know that. Like, sometimes I think people get really comfortable, and especially you're a man. Like, I'm sorry, I do treat my male friends differently than my female friends. As a man, you don't get to talk to me in any way unless I am okay with it. So don't tell me I'm wilding, because the way I understand wilding is that I'm somehow tripping, I'm somehow crazy, or I'm somehow don't know what I'm talking about. And I'll be damned if you ever accuse me of not knowing what I'm talking about. You can totally not agree with me, but don't ever come at me talking about you wilding. That's on some bullshit. But anyway, we hashed that out. That's fine. Good. Eventually, like, we're talking to it because he didn't want to put it on the timeline, because that's what friends do. We don't sit here and beef shit out on the fucking timeline. We talk to each other.
Every conversation ain't for everybody.
It's not for everybody, right? And some of y'all, I see y'all be like going at it with your friends online. I'm like, that ain't no friend. Y'all don't know what friendship is. But anyway, he basically came to understand that I am steadfast in my beliefs. They don't waver, like, based on circumstances and situations. I use the example of being an abolitionist. Like, people will claim to be an abolitionist until that shit hits a little too close to home, or they decide that they don't particularly like a person. Then it's all send them to jail. Then it's all we want justice. Well, what does justice look like in a corrupt system? Yeah, you said throw them under the jail, right?
Throw them under the jail.
And I'm just like,
to enact justice.
And people throw that around and joke about it like it's nothing. I'm like, we are an incarceration nation. So much of your language is carceral. You don't even realize that. So in this situation, I'm like, are you against misogynoir or not? Because what we're talking about we're not talking about Candace's, her views or anything like that. Yes, there are consequences when free speech is what it is. And there can and will be consequences for what you say to people. You call someone the N-word, they might punch you in the mouth, okay? Or they might record you and expose you, and then now you've lost your job, your friends, your family, all those things. Yes, there can be consequences for your free speech. I'm not going to sit here and say what they should be, because I know for sure that I may have a disproportionate response to somebody's free speech than someone else might, right? So who's to say? I might punch somebody in the mouth for saying they don't like my shirt. Someone else may say that's excessive. I'm just saying. Every time you open your mouth, every time you go to type something, you understand that you could face consequences for it. Correct? Correct?
I tend to think like that, yes.
Okay.
I run a business, and I'm a brand, so I got to be thoughtful about what I say and do. And I'm also from an age where people would punch you in the face.
You know what? I agree with you, Tiffany, though. I think a lot of people don't socialize properly now, where it's either extreme or it's avoidance. I agree with you. And we got to still talk about how the pandemic really messed things up, but also social media. Social media has made it so easy to disconnect from the people that you can actually touch, because you've got these people that you've downloaded in your phone, and you feel safer being the person that you pretend to be than having to be around people who see you for who you are. And so I think that is what it is. And I think one of the most interesting things to me is when people meet me and they're like, oh, she's exactly like she is online. Why wouldn't I be? And so when I think about someone like a Candace Owens, I'm like, that woman can sit on her computer and her microphone and say whatever the hell she wants to say. Are y'all out of this world saying that she can't? Charlie Kirk could say whatever he wanted to say. It's free. Like, When he starts paying for buses for people to go to riot, that's different. When he's talking, when he's getting people to try to dox people, and put them in harm's way, that's different. That's harassment. There's laws about that.
Right.
But that man can sit there and say black women are the dumbest people on the planet. He can say that 18 times a day, and he has the right to.
Yeah, I don't like
just
it.
As somebody, I don't like it, but he has the right to say it. And I have to keep telling you all the reason I do this stuff is because I am a free speech hardliner. I do fundamentally believe that. And if somebody, wants to take me out for the things that I've said, so be it. So be it. Because I'm ready. I've lived a great life. Balls to the wall right now. Dr. Hall, you ever been balls to the wall, Dr. Hall?
Very strange times. Living
in a nice rhyme scheme. But what the whole point was, I know it's a long way to get to it, and I know we only got 13 more minutes with you, but that's not why they would take her out, though. They would take her out because she's exposing hypocrisy. She is commenting on things that she's not supposed to be talking about. Now, I saw somebody earlier say, well, why she wait till now to say something? You have not reported your boss touching you inappropriately to HR. Tell me why you haven't reported that yet. Because there's a good goddamn chance you'll lose your job. You can't afford that right now. You don't go to HR with the issues that you have. You can't even tell your mama you don't like her potato salad. But you want to ask and wonder why Candace Owens didn't say anything until now? Come on. A lot of people who are chronically online and behind these keyboards and don't know a thing about touching grass got a lot to say about what she coulda, shoulda, woulda did. Her friend was alive. I think that, people they were like besties.
They were, yeah.
And
they were pretty close.
Friends. Like, whatever the hell they want. You say that shit in front of me, I'd probably punch him in the mouth. But that's how I am. I'm Aries from the hood. That's kind of how I am. But we're not going to sit here and say that they weren't extremely close friends, and he probably would be saying the same shit about her. So, and people say, oh, well, he wouldn't do that. Well, you know.
Well, when you're in, you get to hear a lot of microaggressions when you're in with them. Or straight up aggressions when you have friends like that.
Or they avoid that shit around you. Or it is a really long grift, like I've been saying, between the two of them. I really think that they orchestrated this entire thing, and they've been grifting us for years. Well, not me, because I've never sent them money, but but again, that's neither here nor there. Yes, I know. I forgot my hat. That's neither here nor there. I'm saying that if something happens to Candace Owens, right? Because remember, this is a gang war, folks.
This is a gang war.
This is a gang war. Dr. How do you understand this is a gang war?
This is gang violence, yes.
We talked about this before. I planted this out. You got Fuentes. Anybody ever seen the film The Warriors? Somebody said it's like West Side Story. You got Fuentes and the Groypers, all right? The incels, right? That's who allegedly Tyler Robinson is one of those. Allegedly. You got Charlie Kirksters, okay, which apparently now tens of thousands of chapter applications popping up. So he had people all over the place. And plus, there's a lot of people who had never heard of him till that day. But all they knew was that a young white man got shot, and it didn't matter. Nothing that he said.
Family man.
Nothing that he said prior. Nothing that he said just 5 minutes before he got shot mattered to them. All they saw was a young white father, husband, who got Christian, claimed to be Christian. That's it.
Hey,
his wife, who I just said I was going to quickly mention, is older than him and is getting her PhD at Liberty University. This is the same man who goes out and says that women are happier in the home and that they need to be focused on their husbands and their children and not out there in the working world. Again, what's for me is not for thee. His wife is a working woman who is out there getting a PhD, albeit from a bullshit ass school, Liberty University, which continues to exploit Black people who can't get into any other programs and who can barely string two sentences together, and steals their money and gives them a bullshit degree that nobody cares about. She's getting her PhD from there.
Yes.
Again, when I say this shit is a grift, he goes out, says what he needs to say, and then goes home and it's a whole different story. And I feel that's how that, but that's just me. That's just me.
Got to make the bread somehow.
How much money did they have? And I heard they had 80 million in the bank.
I heard 12 million.
Turning Point.
Worth 12 million. Turning Point has 80.
No, Turning Point got 80 million in the bank.
Yeah.
He was worth 12 million. In 5 years, he rose to that type of fame and popularity.
What happened in the last 5 years that he could rise like that? It's like certain events politically have led to, I feel like there was a riot and then certain people felt empowered and now they got to fight to take their country back. I mean, I can't put my finger on it, but.
So all I'm saying is something in the milk is curdled.
Allegedly.
Because when that lady was, and I'm not going to show her because now there's conspiracy theories that was not Charlie Kirk's body in there. But they had a mannequin in there, but I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah, no.
But that lady's speech, she really was going in about how, like, very threatening. Like, you think the movement is done? It's just only going to get stronger. We are going to grow faster and bigger and stronger.
All rage, like, hey, if we're talking about all the anger, none of
all the anger, all the rage
type stuff. I would like, in the event of my death, like let's talk about how great a person I am and how much you miss me. Let's not talk about carrying on the mission with fervor and we're gonna stamp out the oppression of literally the dudes in our own party who were upset with us and might have been legally found to have done this crime, allegedly.
Right. Put a 666 in the chat if you're not gonna miss Dr. Hall. Let's put a 666 in the chat.
Oh no, don't do that,
Dr. Hall, because
Oh wow. Okay. Well. Wow. On 2 different platforms.
Yeah, Facebook too. Yeah, just have to let everybody know. Well.
Yeah.
All right. So that was going on. That was important. Dr. Hall, give me a couple of more. I know you got about 7 minutes, and then I'm gonna do my long.
And then you.
I wanted you to be here for the deep dive real quick, but can I get started and then you go?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you go, okay. So I'm going to move things around just because we're about to lose Dr. Hall, and Dr. Hall is our resident psychologist, and his focus is on Black men's mental health. Okay. Yes. Dr. Hall once a month on the 3rd Thursday of the month, I think he said. I said I was going to try to help Dr. Hall promote his stuff better. I just forget.
That's all right. Every 3rd Saturday, I run a Black men's group in Cincinnati.
Thank you.
This Saturday, so Saturday the 20th. My Black men's group will be open to Black men who are in need of mental health and emotional and social support. So that's what I do in my spare time when I'm not popping up on your screens, helping Dr. T make her show. I don't know.
Make her show what?
Interesting. I'm making it interesting. I'm providing levity and fun and expertise.
So you saying my show is not interesting when you're not on it?
I'm not saying at all that.
Wow, this is why I don't talk to Black men.
Zest. That's all. I wasn't saying.
Okay, so but the reason okay, so all jokes aside,
yes,
I think it's really important that you're here because there was a situation, and there is a situation that is kind of talking, social media is talking about.
Yes.
Demar Travion, also known as Trey Reed, was found hanging from a tree. And he was found hanging from a tree in Mississippi. Okay. So he was a student at Delta State University. And they said they found his body and no foul play was suspected. Right. Now he was hanging from a tree in the center of campus. Okay. He was found Monday morning. Okay. Wasn't there some kind of campus-wide meeting or some kind of special meeting was happening or something at the time. I'm trying to find that. But and his body's found in the center of the campus, right? Friends, I just want us to be, let's have a conversation about this. All right, let me take this off. Now, first they started circulating, this information about him, his picture. He was found hanging, and in come the chants of Black people don't hang themselves, right? Black people don't hang themselves from trees. Mm-hmm. How can you hang yourself with broken arms and legs? I was like, oh, broken arms and legs, what are you talking about, right? Yeah. Several people in my replies said this. They said there was reports that, he broke his arms and legs were broken. I said, where's the reports? Mm-hmm. What report? Come to find out, is somebody on TikTok who claims to be a family member got on TikTok and said this. No photo or video evidence, nothing, just saying it. His arms and legs were broken. Now here's the thing. If the body is hanging, are you saying then that the family had access to touching his body while he was hanging for them to know that the body was broken? Now, in most cases, we know that that is not the case. That's not how that works.
Only the authorities will alter the body.
There's that.
Yeah.
So how is it yesterday? His body was found yesterday morning. 7 a.m. By yesterday afternoon, people were saying that his arms and legs were broken because they saw a report. When you ask people what the report is, half the people were they had no response, or they were like, oh, you're right, I was spreading misinformation. Yeah, because when you actually go to look into it, you'll find there isn't any valid or verified report. Yeah. But what we do have a report of is the Bolivar County Deputy Coroner Murray Rourke told the Mississippi Free Press in a September 15th interview that he assisted his colleague, Deputy Coroner Dwayne Proctor, that's a Black man, in examining Reed's body. Contrary to rumors on social media, Rourke said that he saw no evidence of broken arms or legs. In fact, he said he wasn't even supposed to say that much, but he came to say it to stop people from saying that his arms and legs were broken, because it's not true. Because we know what happens. Now people are saying, oh, it doesn't matter if the ME is Black or whatever. So again, let's think about this. You know that we are in tumultuous times. You know that this is Mississippi. You know that you are a Black man examining the body of a younger Black man, and you see already online that people are coming up with all kinds of ideas and stuff, and people are upset. They believe this is a lynching. They believe, they're riled up. We see that the white supremacists are riled up and having marches. They're waiting for anything that they can take to attack us. Right. Let me calm this down, even though I'm not supposed to give you any information all. Let me just try to quiet this and let them know, hey, from what I can tell so far, no broken bones or anything like that.
Yes.
Of course, that's been dismissed.
Right. And I think the clinician in me does understand why we get so whipped up, particularly once again in this information age where we are used to having information so readily that it is hard to sit and wait. As you said, it is Mississippi where, historically racial injustices have unfolded and been sort of the norm in that environment. And things are so on edge right now, right? Everybody feels this internal pressure that we are like on the precipice of a civil war, a racial war of some kind. The Civil War is actually going to be white on white. The first one was, this one.
We've already seen this. It's white on white.
It's going to be white on white. It is, because the idea that the race side of it, right? Everybody's looking for the Crispus Attucks that's going to be the first shot in this war. And so I do understand why, in the midst of that, this feels in some ways like a righteous cause. This death that is unexplainable feels righteous, and people want to apply it to these unknown factors. It becomes a much sexier story if it's this. But also, having worked on college campuses for 8 years of my life, having done this work in mental health for like 12 years, or 13 almost. Geez, I've been at this forever. I know that suicide does happen. People do go through the steps of harming themselves. And we are often left with, because those of us who do not live with those thoughts cannot understand what it is like to be locked into that course of action. But it is possible. And so to say that it is not does a disservice to Black men who we know, we talk about it. We know Black men are suffering with regards to mental health. We know that there aren't enough resources for them. And likely in the state of Mississippi, there are not enough mental health resources. I don't know that college, but it's likely that there are not enough resources to help a person who is suffering. Like I said, I worked in a college for 8 years. There was not enough. And even as a person who worked in those environments, trying to get Black men to come to me for services was very difficult because they didn't trust me as part of the system that they feel is oppressing them in the first place, right? So I know that people get into that space where that's the course of action that they choose to take. And so to say automatically this has to be lynching, it couldn't be mental health, that's actually doing a disservice to the person who and the family who does need real answers and doesn't need you spreading these ideas about what could have happened. Let's sit down, let's give a moment and reflect and make time to investigate what's actually happening before we start spreading lies and rumors about a person who might have really been suffering silently.
And I was trying to be very clear that I'm not saying that nothing foul happened here. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that to summarily dismiss that Black people or Black men would take their own lives by hanging because of our cultural history. No, I'm sorry. This is where I get to yell at you. You have to be smarter than that. You have to be. You can't talk like that. There's 8 billion people in this world, and you sit here and say that every one of them that happens to be Black would never hang themselves. Please. And for me, again, I'm in these classrooms. These young people know nothing about history. I've had students who have never seen a photo of a lynching before, never learned about it in school. And so for all of you assuming that Black people just have this innate resistance to hanging as if they are all fully knowledgeable about the history of lynching, when many of you are not fully knowledgeable about the history of lynching, because you don't know the 2 biggest lynching events were Italians and Chinese people. Okay, you don't know that, but now you do. But anyway, let's go back, because I'm really tired of people saying this. On one hand, Black people are not monolithic. But then when it comes to something like this, Black people would never hang themselves. 43 million people, and you saying never? I lost someone close to me when I was young because they hanged himself. Black man, young Black man, in a lot of pain, queer, family wouldn't accept him. And I'm looking at this young man. My spirit is tingling, Dr. Hall. My spirit feels like he may have been queer and may have been grappling with that or may have had other issues. I'm just saying that anything is possible. And the only legitimate report from somebody there says a Black man fully aware of the world that he's in and the climate that he's in right now comes and says, no, there was no broken bones. Okay, that doesn't mean that nothing foul happened. But this idea that you all are pushing that it's foul play because his bones were broken, you can knock that out. Stop saying that. And stop being dismissive of everybody who's reading. You know how y'all like to say, oh, well, so-and-so won't see you, but your friends and family will. Well, how about the friends and family that you have that have lost people by suicide by hanging? And you're sitting here saying the thing that you're saying doesn't happen because they're Black.
Yeah.
I need y'all to just start thinking about things a little bit more, taking a few extra seconds before you say that first thought that comes to your mind. Just think about it a little bit. Let it expand. Think about the possible outcomes. How is this going to land? Is this actually true?
Do I know for sure?
Do I know for sure? Now, you all know I regularly have people in my replies trying to teach me shit that I actually teach to other people. And it's fine. I let them do what they want to do. They need a moment to feel like they're smart. Go ahead and do that. But I'm more interested in the intellectually curious people who will ask me further questions about something because they don't necessarily understand it, or they just come back and say, hey, you remember when you were talking about so-and-so? I went and looked it up and learned a lot. Those are the people that I engage, because I don't have it for the people who are not even willing to go online and type a damn name in to find out information and news.
Yeah.
You don't get to talk to me if you're coming and you're challenging a point that I made based on some shit that you see going viral on social media. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. John Henrik Clark says, I do not, I only debate my equals. All others I educate. Dr. Hall, how many equals I got in this world? I'm just saying.
Not many.
I'm just saying. So anyway, I want us to think about that. Dr. Hall, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna run through the last few things before I close out of here. I'm gonna let you go.
Yes.
I'm gonna talk a little bit about the free speech stuff again. But thank you for weighing in on this. It's not that we're saying that you know this was absolutely suicide or whatever. We're not saying that. We understand that Mississippi is a racist place. We understand that that Black people are under attack because whenever white people get upset with themselves, they come after us. We just try to do our best to stay out of their white people business. That white on white crime is crazy, and they always want to bring us into it.
Yeah.
So we just doing our best. So I understand why somebody would do that, but I also want y'all to think. Go read a little bit about lynch mobs. Just go read about how they operated and how they did things, and let me know if you think that in 2025 they would put his body in the middle of campus. Nobody saw anything because there's cameras all over the entire goddamn campus. None of you stopped to think about that. That they have footage of what happened. Now, I would love it to be that we see some other person or people took him there to the center of campus where all the lights and the cameras are. I would love for the video to show that that's what happened.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do when you sit and think about the timing? Why did he do it Monday and not Sunday? Not a busy day. You know, he chose a day that he knew people would see him. He would be discovered. In the middle of campus. Now, if they had something, if this was other people, they put him up there in the middle of campus because one person can't do it. So it would have to be a group of people that somehow got him to a tree in the middle of campus with nobody seeing it. No campus security that's constantly doing loops every 5 minutes, right?
15 to 30. Yeah.
15 to 30, whatever situations, nobody anywhere saw anything, right? And a brightly lit camera in campus with cameras everywhere, right?
Sure, some level of security.
If they're gonna do that, where's the message? Was there a message in his pocket somewhere? Was something left in his dorm room? Because the Klan ain't gonna do that kind of secret shit. They want to send a message. Same way, allegedly, Tyler Robinson sent a message by popping Charlie Kirk in the throat.
And writing on the bullets, yes. Long into the night, toiling away by candlelight to write on the bullets.
So I'm not trying to be the asshole, y'all. I'm just asking you to put on your thinking caps before you pull yourself into a rage and kind of space where you end up in a situation as part of this.
Yeah.
We have to stay level-headed. They are going to try to provoke us in so many ways. Let's not make that easy.
We don't have to do
All
that.
right, Dr. Hall, I know you got to go, Dr. Hall.
I do.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming by. I'm going to wrap this up with a few more stories and we okay, whatever, bye. All right. So I'm just saying to y'all, like, I'm sitting here, I was like, and like I said on the on thread, was that I'm not trying to take away from this idea that there could be foul play. But I'm just asking y'all to not be, as much as y'all talk about ableism, as much as you talk about Black men's mental health, as much as you talk about all these things, I need you to familiarize yourself with the fact that 1 out of 3 Black men reports feeling suicidal ideation. I want you to go and educate yourself about the fact that Black men between 15 and 25, or 15 and 24, sorry, have one of the fastest rising rates of suicide of any group, okay? I want you to know that queer Black men are major contributors to suicides among Black men, because we still refuse to accept queerness in Black men. These are things I want you to know before you start chiming in and talking about lynching, because if you're going to talk about lynching, you should probably also know a little bit about how that's done. And I just want to know, at one point, did anybody stop to think, why would a group of people take this man on a campus of 2,700 people? Why would they take him to the middle of the campus where all the lights and cameras are and hang him from a tree? That's what I want us to start doing. All right, so a couple more things to get into before I lock out of here, because I did make some chicken and it was really delicious. Ted Cruz. Oh my gosh, hold on. Let me share this. Hold on. Ted Cruz. Personally, it was like some kind of slander of Charlie Kirk. And so this dude is making a big production of going out there with white paint, not brown or anything that might actually blend in and cover things up, but he goes in with white paint to make sure that he is seen doing this stupid shit. Okay. Just goofy, so performative, so loser. Speaking of losers, people are losing their jobs. Okay. People are losing their jobs because of their social media posts about Charlie Clark. As of this feed, I have not yet been fired from anything. I actually just got invited to come speak in Oakland towards the end of October. So I look forward to coming out there and seeing you all and checking in. I'll have details when I get them. So people from like deans, we've been talking about professors, K through 12 teachers, people that are protected by the unions. So it's really, well, actually, they're targeting more people that aren't actually in unions, which again speaks to the power of unions and why they are so important when it comes to things like this. As we said, everybody deserves right representation. I said this in the last live in case you missed it. As much as I hate the pigs, and I will always hate the pigs, they too have the right to have representation by their union. Collective bargaining is why we only have 40-hour weeks and why children can't work, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So there was, they said it's, let's see. Oh, Laura Loomer, you evil bitch. Oh, sorry. Did y'all see what Laura Loomer said? She said, I'm so sorry, President Trump, but the unemployment numbers next month in the jobs report are going to be very high. Bragging about all the people that she's getting fired for talking bad about Charlie Kirk. Oh my gosh. Somebody wrote, looks like old Charlie spoke his fate into existence. Hate begets hate. Zero sympathy. That person got fired. Okay. Because U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn, a Republican from Tennessee, called for the firing of the assistant dean at Middle Tennessee State University. Okay. So the governor can come in and say that you need to be fired because it is a state school. But let's think about what these private liberal arts schools are doing. I'm very interested in, because anybody have anything about the any of the Ivies firing anybody so far? Because they've been bowing down and being throat goats to Trump. And so I don't know. Somebody on Instagram said they love free speech until they don't like what they hear. Well, so do y'all. I mean, like, you're not much different, right? Many of you showed over the last couple of days that you don't actually value free speech either if it's somebody you don't like. So let's, this is a show where we're not doing that hypocritical shit over here. We don't align with any of these parties, and we talk shit and we talk real shit over here. But anyway, so Karen Atia, I don't know if that's how she pronounced her last name. I believe it would be Atia. She was like the last remaining Black woman, I think, working at WAPO as a reporter. She got fired. And she said, part of what keeps America so violent is the insistence that people perform care, empty goodness, and absolution for white men who espouse hatred and violence. She didn't reference Kirk by name, but she also said to a commenter that refusing to tear my clothes and smear ashes on my face in performative mourning for a white man that espoused violence is not the same as violence. And she said, she wrote in a blog post that her commentary received thoughtful engagement across platforms, support, and virtually no public backlash. But her assertion that Kirk espoused violence may have been flagged. Okay, we all know that WAPO is owned by the administration. So I don't know what she expected. She could have just said, I love Charlie Kirk, and they'd have found a way to say, oh, she was being sarcastic, fire her. They were waiting for a reason to get rid of her anyway. All of these publications are going to become white male only publications, okay? Women and racialized people are not going to be allowed to work in the upper like areas of media. I hope y'all understand that, right? Once it all becomes state-run regime media, they're absolutely not going to let us do anything. And if you end up doing that, it means that you either support their shit. What's that Black woman that is the big conservative journalist on Fox? What's her name? I forgot. Somebody let me know that. All right. So a teacher in Texas wrote, could this have been the consequences of his actions catching up with him? And karma is a bitch. And she was called to be fired, but her employment status is unknown. And this is in Houston. Here's the thing. You cannot fire teachers, at least unionized teachers, for those kinds of things. You cannot. You can't. And so what's really interesting to me is that the performance that we have seen over the last few days, or, since this happened, it's all going to come bite people in the ass. Did they not watch as Trump tried to do all those executive orders and fire all those people and stop all these things? And then just court case after court case kept coming back. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't. He just had one, I think, yesterday. You can't do it. They keep telling him you can't do it. So all of that performative bluster and stuff is doing nothing but waste money because he's not allowed to do these things. This is what we're going to see as a result of all these people losing their jobs for expressing their free speech on social media. Absolutely not. It's the most ridiculous thing. But they're performing all of this as intimidation. And that's what I want people to understand. It's a little bit of a deeper dive too, but it's just like, I want you all to understand that all of this is just intimidation. These are all intimidation tactics. The same thing with ICE, right? Notice that we have not been talking about ICE, but ICE is still out there snatching and kidnapping people. And Proud Boys and other human traffickers are pretending to be ICE, and they are kidnapping people. And so I feel like I need to say that because that's kind of fallen out of the 24/7 news cycle as well, which is what they want, right? They don't want us to think about ICE because then the spotlight is on them, right? So now that we have moved on, we've moved on to our session with the Epstein files, which they are not going to release. So we had that, and we need something to distract from that. And then they allegedly took out one of their guys to distract us and keep us talking about that, right? We all understand that, right? So this whole idea of people getting fired and losing their jobs and all these things like that, they know that shit can't stand. They know that, what was Marsha Blackburn thinking? Like, honestly, what the hell was she thinking, calling for a teacher to be fired? That's absolute insanity. Okay. A teacher in Naples, New York, likened Kirk to a Nazi and allegedly wrote, among other things, good riddance to bad garbage. So what? So what? Why? That should not get anybody fired. It really shouldn't. especially because Donald Trump Jr. posts a Halloween costume that is a picture of underwear and like a hammer, alluding to the attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband. This whole idea of political violence, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. They're full of shit. They are completely hypocritical and they are full of shit. And that's why we can't take this. We can't take them seriously. We have to focus on the legal aspects of these things, which is what is happening. The ACLU is hard at work. The NAACP is hard at work. There are other organizations. A lot of people are doing pro bono work and stuff like that. So a couple of people saying, if you lost your job, you know, hit me up. I'm an employment lawyer, blah, 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 blah. I love to see folks coming together and that kind of community showing itself, because that's how it has to be, right? That's how we have to support each other during these times. But none of that's going to stand. Are you kidding me? And then, so wait, Trump, wait, hold on. I got to show y'all this thing that Trump said before I get out of here. Because this actually, oh no, I got to. Okay, wait, where's my Trump thing? Trump. Oh, yes. Like, what the hell is this? Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me share my screen. Let's go here. Okay. Uh-oh. Did it go? It didn't go. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to figure this out. Did they delete it? Oh, don't tell me they deleted it. No, I think they deleted it. Oh, wait, no. Here we go. Okay, it's the right thing. I'm tripping, y'all. I'm also high. So I'm just gonna put that. Oh, wait, no. What am I doing? Come on, yeah, I'm sorry. I know I don't like a lot of dead air. Here we go. All right, let's listen to this.
That's a violent radical left group. Okay, go ahead.
I got peppered with a lot of comments for doing that. They still have their First Amendment right, though. They're still out there protesting. You've got an amazing team behind you. You've done it all.
It says, I'm not so sure. I don't know if you heard that, but Donald Trump, they asked him, you know, the reporters he was talking about, they're saying nasty things. And then he asked with the reporters, it was like, you know, the reporter was like, do you think they still have the right to free speech? If it's a, you know, free speech or whatever. And he's like, I'm not sure about that. I'm sorry. What? People don't have the right to free speech? But they want to call, right, they want to call people on this side, they will call us extreme. The president just said he's not sure if journalists are entitled to free speech. Like, you all have to sit with this and what this means in terms of how they are attempting to silence voices. They are attempting to silence opposition. Ask anybody who has lived through a fascist regime, this is what they do. They take control of the press. They silence all dissidents. That's why I flagged Ibrahim Traore, because he he banned all Western media and then told the media within his own country that if they were not airing and showing patriotic things, they could not do anything. And he shut down some of them because a couple of them wrote criticisms of him. That is a dictator. That is a dictator. You talk about democracy. Well, in a democratic society, people can write about you and say negative things without facing, you know, repercussion. So that should flag you for that, right? And then here we go. Wait, did I see that one already? No, we saw that already. Okay, let's look at the Kash Patel trial. Let's look at this real quick, y'all, because oh my gosh. We gonna talk about one of the dumbest people in the planet. Okay, here we go.
Have you seen the Epstein files?
I have not reviewed the entirety of it myself, but a good amount.
Would it be fair to say that Mr. Epstein trafficked young women, including in some instances minors, for sex to himself?
That was specifically the allegations in the 2018 indictment in the Southern District of New York.
Who else did he traffic these young women to?
In terms of what the investigation, again, going back to 2008, Mr. Acosta, who limited the investigation and limited the search warrants and limited the parameters of the investigation The only thing we are able to speak to publicly, because he was given a non-prosecution agreement by Mr. Acosta, is that first time period from, I believe, don't quote me on this, 97 to 2001-ish. And then when the Trump administration courageously reopened it.
Excuse me for interrupting, but I'm going to run out of time. You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday.
He's lying. Do you hear Cash Patel just said that he looked through the files and there's no evidence that he trafficked anybody anywhere? So why is Ghislaine's in jail right now? You understand that him saying that her case to get out is growing. She got 20 years because she trafficked them. There was evidence. You traffic people to other people. Like, come on. And he's sitting there saying, no, it ain't happen. It didn't happen. You're making this shit up. You're making it up. I'm gonna go. I gotta look more into this Beyonce hanging out with Ivanka thing. That was really interesting, but I want to look into a little bit more and give you the political spin on that. So we'll probably do that on Friday. Thank you all so very much. If you got anything out of this today, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, if you're just seeing me in a flyby, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on social media. I'm Feminist Jones pretty much everywhere. And if you want to hit me up with some support, I have my Cash App there, Fem Jones. I have my Venmo. It's also Fem Jones. You want to hit me up? That's great. It's awesome. If not, it's all good. Love you. Thank you for supporting everything that I'm doing. We in this together, y'all, and I'll see y'all soon.